All right, this video should be a little bit more normal. Oh my god! It's time traveling hack guy again! I know that thing's a time machine, but can you not? Silence, there's no time! There was a malfunction with my time traveling machine. I need to know if this is the past or the future. If you can time travel, it's technically both. Wow. I think for you, we're in the future. I don't know if I believe you. All right, to prove to you that it's not the past, how about I name some recent hockey things? Okay, go for it. All right, Alex Ovechkin completely torched the Leafs last night, created an amazing moment in the process, and people still found a way to ruin it on Twitter. Okay, how are the Sabres, Oilers, and Coyotes doing? Oh my god, terrible. They're all bottom of the league. Others are still bad, huh? Yeah, and the burden of blame seems to fall squarely on the shoulders of one of their first overall picks, and they're trying to trade another one of their first overall picks. You're not doing a great job convincing me it's the future. The Leafs lost to the Capitals last night. Again. Well, heading into the game, the Leafs were actually the favorite. Okay, it's the future. Good to know. Hi! Leafs Nation, stand witness for Austin Lucas! Full biblical Austin Matthews is a Leaf! Why do I watch hockey stressfully? Mostly. Are you in? Leafs! No, they lost that one. They lost 4-2 to the Washington Capitals. Alexander Ovechkin with a hat trick. Before the game, Alex Ovechkin met with cancer survivor Alex Louis is gonna be happy with that performance. And he said if he scores, it's gonna be for him. And I'm like, ha! If. No need to be modest. You're Alex Ovechkin. The Leafs had their backup in net. You're going to score. And Hockey Night in Canada followed that story all night long from before the game, during, and after. So shout out to all the reporters and producers who made that happen through hard work and dedication. You can be grumpy about the loss as a Leafs fan, but you see that and you're like, why is my cold heart so warm right now? I'm leaking. All right, let's talk about this game. Leafs lost, so let's freak out. Actually, no. Let's handle this the way Mike Babcock did in his post-game presser. I loved it. It's funny. As Leaf fans, we have a weird relationship with everybody. The GM, the coach, the players, the goalie especially. But Babcock is a fascinating guy, fascinating quote, and I listen to every scrum he does on the Leafs YouTube channel. And I'm always interested to see, did he see that game the way I saw that game? And pretty much as soon as the video starts, he goes, I like this. And I'm like, you know, I like them too. Yes, the Leafs lost, but if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I have a term that doesn't make all the sense in the world, but I like it anyway. It's called an honest loss. It's an 82-game season. You're gonna win and lose games in all kinds of ways. Sometimes you don't show up, sometimes you're lazy, sometimes you completely choke, and sometimes, you just lose. That's kind of how I look at this one. How can I be that mad? The Leafs outshot the Capitals 29-21. They limited the Washington Capitals to 21 shots. Well, in the second half of back-to-back, they both were! Now, I do sort of blame this loss on McElhinney. I don't feel good doing it, but I also feel like it's right. But what I found funny was I had so many people tweeting at me yesterday, you know, why didn't they start Anderson in the game against the Capitals? And ironically, when I found out Anderson was starting against the Hurricanes and McElhinney against the Capitals, I was like, no, I don't agree with that at all. You should do the opposite. So I agree with you. Can we also agree that had Anderson not started against the Hurricanes, the Leafs probably would have lost? Honestly, if you did reverse the roles, the best case scenario probably is the Leafs lose to the Hurricanes and beat the Caps. So is that what I would have done? Yes. I also would have been wrong. Let's look at the goals that were scored. Ovechkin comes in on the Leafs. It's basically Ovechkin versus 4 Leaf defenders. Blows by Komarov. That wasn't a very good effort. But then he's coming in on Riley, and Riley's like right in his face. I didn't think he was giving him too much respect at all. And Ovechkin just wires a shot, and you know, that's the thing about Alex Ovechkin is he has a wicked shot. And the thing about NHL players, is they take wicked shots all the time. And the great thing about NHL goalies is most of the time they stop them. And while I did think the first Ovechkin goal was a wicked shot, McElhinney's doing that thing that McElhinney does all the time. Where are you going? There are times where I wish McElhinney would give like another couple taps to the goalpost just to make sure where he is, because he goes wandering a lot of the time. I thought he cheated way too far to one side, and that allowed Ovechkin to score on an incredible shot. A few minutes later, Ovechkin is set up for a patented one-time, and he blasts a patented one-time. He's not even planted on his feet when he takes it. He's gonna have the traps of an 80s bodybuilder. Monday, back day. Tuesday, back day. Best friend, backstrom. Wednesday, back day. Blast it and it goes in because it's Alex Ovechkin, right? It's just Alex Ovechkin. And as soon as I see the replay, I'm like, no! I don't care if it was Ovechkin, and I don't care if it was on the power play. Again, it's Ovechkin. Again, it's a wicked shot, but the thing goes through McElhinney. Maybe I'm being unfair, but I feel like if you see a shot, if it's unscreened, if you're a decent distance out of your net, if you're square to the thing, you should be able to stop it if you're an NHL goalie. I guess what I'm saying is I think Anderson stops that shot. And most of the time your backup's not going to be as good as your starter. But, and maybe that's just how it is. Ovechkin eats guys like this up. We're not talking about a regular NHL player. We're not talking about a regular NHL star. We are talking about one of the greatest goal scorers of all time, era-adjusted or or not. One other note on that goal, Ron Hainsey, who is like leading the league astronomically in every penalty killing category, was in the box for that one. He's been picking it up production-wise recently, picking up a couple goals. It's nice to see him get that. One concerning thing though, Ron Hainsey, the Leafs' most key penalty killer, took 1 penalty in the Leafs' first 21 games. That's right, Leafs' top pairing defender has to deal with all the hardest players to deal with, plays more time in the PK than anybody. Ron Hainsey, 1 penalty in his first 21 games. No penalties in the first 2 games, took a penalty in the game against Chicago in the 3rd game of the season, and then went 18 straight without taking a single penalty. With this one, 3 penalties in his last 4 games. I doubt it's anything. It's probably just a coincidence, just a little observation I made, but hopefully he's not being overworked. Second period, Jakub Vrana on the breakaway comes in and he shoots and scores. Well, I'm not going to blame McElhinney for that one. I don't like blaming goalies for breakaway goals. Because if you allow the goal, yeah, sure, I guess you messed up, but you were also the last person to mess up. And then the Leafs head into the 3rd period down 3-0 against the Capitals. Come on! And so I tweet, all right, cue the comeback. Less than 90 seconds in, Matthews to Gardner at the point, blasting that beats Braden Holtby. Leafs are on the board. Oh, do you hear that? It's footsteps! Barely 6 minutes in, Zaitsev takes the feed from 4th liner William Nylander. He goes for a little walk. He tries to set up an open Dominic Moore in front. Guess what? Tips up and over Braden Holtby. Do you hear the footsteps? Nice for Nylander to get the assist on that one, even if it was a bit of a fluky goal, and he didn't do all that much. Gotta get those points. And I started to take it for granted. I'm like, the Leafs are actually gonna do this, and then you forget that Braden Holtby's in net. Chaos in front, Matthews has a chance, and despite the 2 goals and the close chances, the Capitals hold the Leafs to 7 shots in the 3rd period, which was actually the fewest amount of shots the Leafs had in any period in this game. Ovechkin, here he comes. As soon as the puck hits his stick, I'm like, it's too perfect, I hate you! Scores, hat trick, they show the hug on TV, and oh geez, it's just too perfect. I feel bad feeling mad at this. I mean, it's a great story, but why did it have to happen against my team? And the Leafs lose, an honest one, 4-2. I want to go back to William Nylander. Now, I don't think Babcock is punishing him by putting him on the 4th line. I heard him kind of talking about it, and he wants Willie to get off the schneid so that he can put him back with Matthews and they can start destroying worlds again. His logic, and it's not bad, is, well, if you match William Nylander up against other teams' 4th lines, he'll kill them. So that's how you get him to score a goal. And I'm like, why not put him with your best offensive player and the guy he has the most chemistry with? You reward Mitch Marner for his strong player as of late, and you put him with Matthews for a bit. And then to switch things up a bit, you do that Hyman-Matthews-Brown line that was actually very good for the Leafs for a while, and I thought was very good in this game. But I think the best way to reignite Willie and help out Austin and help out the entire team is to reunite one of the best lines in hockey for the early part of the season, Hyman, Matthews, Nylander. The other concerning thing is the Leafs took 3 penalties to the Capitals 1. Now that doesn't sound that bad, does it? No, but it kind of adds up over the course of a season. I looked up a stat on NHL.com. Oh, I know, but it actually worked. The Leafs have spent 140 minutes and 46 seconds on the penalty kill so far this season. They've spent 120 minutes and 45 seconds on the power play. That is a special teams difference of negative 20 minutes and 1 second, which is bottom 10 in the league. It's actually 8th worst. What makes it more concerning is the Detroit Red Wings, who are 9th worst, only have a negative 14.5 minute disadvantage. So the Leafs are a part of a class of a bunch of teams that are really bad at this. And keep in mind, we're only like a third of the way through the season, probably less. They're on pace to have a negative penalty differential of about an hour over the course of a season. How many goals is that? Last season, the Leafs were 10th worst in this category as well, with a penalty differential of negative 22 minutes and 3 seconds. So it's not even December and the Leafs are almost there already. And by the way, just to show you the penalty increase this season, the Ducks spent the most time in the penalty kill last season with 484 minutes. Right now, they're on pace for about 581, almost 100 more minutes. Yada, yada, yada. The Leafs were already bad at this whole penalty differential thing. Then the NHL decided to increase the number of penalties that were awarded, so they need to figure this out and fast. Last but not least, look, I don't want to dump this whole thing on Curtis McElhinney, okay? I don't feel good about doing that, and I don't think it's fair. The numbers McElhinney has put up in 4 games so far this season, so not a huge sample size, but the numbers he's put up so far, look at his career average. It's not far off. This is just what he is. I don't know why we're expecting him to be the most amazing backup goalie in the world because he made a kick save on Sidney Crosby. He is what he is, and it's kind of unfair to expect him to be anything different. I look at the Marlies, however, in 6 games, Calvin Pickard is a 9.24 now. Hey, that's pretty good. Oh, you think that's pretty good? In 12 games, Garrett Sparks, 947. He's faced 340 shots in the American Hockey League this year, and only 18 of them have gone in 12 games. Now, what I'm going to say is this. It is almost December, and Curtis McElhinney just played his 4th game of the season. In just year 2 of Freddie Anderson's deal, are we going to ride him through the arena floor again? When do the Leafs have to look at this situation? And last, what I'm doing after this, I'm watching the Blue Line podcast with Adam Wilde and Sasky Stewart. They just interviewed Commander Chris Hadfield, a Canadian astronaut. I'm halfway through it. The only reason I stopped was to make this video. I'm going right back to it. I'll put the link underneath if you want to check it out. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends that I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers, so please click that subscribe button. And you know how we had Frevo for Josh Levo? We need something for Garrett Sparks. Like, we want Sparks called up. So maybe like Spark It Up. Wait, no.